Okay, step number 14, we're going to be attaching the top. And I want to make sure you guys understand, when we go to attach this top, we're not gluing the top on. If you just put glue around the whole top edge, stuck your top on there, and put some clamps on there, sure it would attach. But the problem is this top, it's want to expand and contract a little bit with the moisture in there, and if you glued it, it's going to crack. So we don't want to glue it. We're just going to, instead, we're going to put it on with some screws. And I've got these little figure eights. They look like this. One of these holes, the screw's going to go down into the side, and the other hole, the screw's going to go up into the top. And this is just one way to attach it. There's other ways we can do it, but these work pretty well, little figure eights. Now on your paper, it says all the things we want to have to attach your top. It says you need 4 figure eights, 8 small screws, a 3/4 inch Forstner bit, a 3/8 inch twist bit, a long Phillips screwdriver bit, and a cordless drill. All those items you're going to need are in a little box that I've got right here. So everything you're going to need is inside here. Make sure that when you're done with this, that you put everything back inside so the next student can find everything they need. So we need our 4 figure eights, and I've already pulled those out. And the one was inside here, right? We need 8 little small screws. And those are these little small screws here. They're about 5/8 inch long. Okay, and then we're also going to need a 3/4 inch Forstner bit. That's this one here. We also need our 3/8 inch twist bit. And then it also says we need a long Phillips bit. So it looks like this is just a longer bit for the screws to put them in. And then a cordless drill. On the cordless drills, we've got a couple different ones. This one here is our impact driver. And this one's just for the Phillips bit to fit into. It just snaps right in there and holds it on there. To get it out, you just pull on that black part, you can release it. The other one here is for our drill bits. If you need to open up that chuck, you got to put it in reverse, hold onto the black, pull that trigger, and it opens the chuck larger. You put it in forward, hold onto the black part, and it'll close that jaw, the chuck. So you want to make sure you get that set where you need it. We're going to need that Forstner bit put in there, so we'll open that up, close it, and then get that tightened up right on there. So we're set there. Okay. First it says we want to place the 4 figure eight connectors on the top edge of your table sides, about 2 inches in from the inside of the legs, and then trace where the hole lines up, and the middle indent's going to be lined up with the inside edge. So all I want you to do is mark where we're attaching our figure eights to the side of your table here. If you take a figure eight and just line this up about 2 inches from the inside of your leg, so I'm just going to mark a line about 2 inches in, just so we can see where it's at. You're going to do that to all your legs here. About 2 inches in, put a little mark. Now this 2 inches isn't a magical number, it's just space them out a little bit. If you've got something that's 2 inches in that's maybe a knot or some bad part of your board, go ahead and move it to 3 inches or 2.5 or whatever. But just we want to space them out about 2 inches from the leg where they're going to be attached. And then you're going to place your figure eight right on the table, in the middle indent of this figure eight. So right in the very center of that needs to be on the inside edge of your table. So we're going to put that right on the inside edge, right on our 2 inch mark. And I just want you to trace the hole on the inside there. So when you pull it off there, you can see our hole that we marked is not centered, it's actually pushed towards the inside of the table just a little bit. And go ahead and do that on all 4 of them. Inside edge, right even with the indent of your figure eight, and trace those holes on there where they need to be. Okay. Next, it says we want to use the Forstner bit and drill down just a small hole about a 1/16 inch deep. We're only going as deep as these figure eights are thick. So you're going to line the very point of your Forstner bit up with our hole that we marked, and you're only drilling just a little bit down. You're not going to go too deep. Go a little bit and then pull it out, and then check to see if it's the same depth that the edge of your table is. I need to go just a hair deeper there because my figure eight's sticking up just a little bit. So we're just going to go a little bit more. But again, you don't want to drill too deep. So that's pretty good. Now we're about the same height as that edge of that table there. So we're going to go through and drill all 4 of these. Again, just get it a little bit. You can check the depth. I need to go a little deeper there. Just don't go too deep. If you accidentally go too deep, you can go ahead and just drill a new hole next to it and we can put your figure eight there. It doesn't really matter. No one's going to see the messed up hole if you do that. So again, get it drilled, not too deep. We're just going as deep as this is thick. Pretty good there. One more. And I think we're pretty good. Okay, next all I want you to do is take your Phillips bit and your screws and go ahead and screw your figure eights into place where they need to be. You can use the regular cordless drill, put a Phillips bit in there, or you can use the impact driver. It just snaps into place. It's kind of nice. And this is magnetic, so it should hold the screw. And if you notice on the figure eight, one of the holes is a little bit bigger than the other. And the reason for that is that's for the head of the screw to fit down into. So it fits down nice and tight. We're just going to put it right where it needs to be, lined up straight. Go ahead and suck that down nice and tight. Just on all four of these. Go ahead and get all four of them attached. Again, it's magnetic, so if you accidentally drop it, it's okay, it'll stick. Nice thing about these figure eights is you can shift them too, so you can shift them over if you need to move them around a little bit like that. So that's to help for that top if it expands or contracts, so it's not going to break the table, just moves the screw. And again, make sure you're going into the hole that's the larger part of the figure eight that the head of the screw will fit into. One more. Okay. Next, in order to screw the top on from underneath here, we can't really get that very well because the D-ring gets in the way and everything else gets in the way, and it's just kind of awkward to try to get that up inside there. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to drill a small hole with our 3/8 inch twist bit through the D-ring directly underneath our figure eight. So we can go up through that hole that we drilled to attach that. And I don't want you to just guess. Get it exact. So instead of drilling through here, we're going to flip our table underneath and drill from the bottom of the table down. So let me show you. We want to know where that part of the figure eight's at, so we're going to measure from the leg over. That looks about close to 2 inches, maybe 1 7/8 to the center of that hole. And then we're going to measure this direction also. The center of that hole looks about 1 inch. So I came about 1 7/8 that way and 1 inch this way. So now what we want to do is flip our table upside down, measure that same amount, our 1 7/8 this way, put a little mark, and then we're going to come 1 inch from the edge this way. And right where those two lines would cross through each other should be directly in line with your figure eight there. We want to use our 3/8 inch twist bit, so you're going to have to place that in the drill. To get this bit out, put it in reverse, hold on to the black. You can open that up, pull that one out of there, and put your other bit in here, put it in forward, clamp that down. Straight up and down right on your mark. All the way through. That is careful when you go all the way through. You don't go too deep all the way down. And if you notice, you could probably see my little figure eight straight through the hole there. And that's what you want. Again, if you just guess, you might end up drilling a little bit off, and then you're not going to get it lining up right where it needs to be. So I want you to make sure you measure over and measure over so we can get it marked right where we want it to go. Don't assume that every single figure eight's the same distance. My other ones might be a little bit different. So I'm going to have to measure each of those over and over, mark where they're at, and then drill each of them individually. Okay. Again, you just want to make sure that you've got it directly in line with your figure eight when you drilled it. So if you look through the hole, you should be able to find the figure eight directly in line there. Okay, next we want to place our top upside down, and then you're going to take your table and place it on top here. You want to make sure that the back of your table is flush on the legs with the back of your top. So we'll get those flush here and here. We also want to make sure that whatever overhangs on the sides is the same amount. So if we're looking at this distance here on the side, we look over at this distance on the side, that needs to be the same. And again, don't just guess. Measure it out. Right here I'm about 1 3/8 inch overhang on that side. Over here I'm about 1 inch. So I've got to shift my table over until we've got it the same amount on both sides here. Again, keep it flush in the back. So right now I'm about 1 3/16. And over here I'm 1 3/16. So we're pretty good now. And again, just make sure everything's straight, line up flush in the back, same amount overhang on the sides. Then all you want to do is just take your long Phillips bit and go through the hole we just drilled, line it up with our figure 8, and you should be able to just screw them down. Suck those down nice and tight, make sure they go all the way down. Get them all 4 attached and your top should be on. One more. You just want to make sure this thing's on nice and tight. Again, we're not gluing the top, we're just putting it on with some screws. And there we go. Top should be on, it's not coming off. As much as I try to get that thing to come off there, should be good. Make sure your drawer still fits. Check to make sure it lines up, still goes all the way back and closes. Should be good to go. Get my signature. Thank you.